In the vast, sun-scorched plains of Tanzania's Serengeti National Park, a pride of 5 adult cheetahs roams near the western savanna. This tight-knit group is renowned for their synchronized hunting prowess, often targeting swift gazelles or nimble hares at the break of dawn. Their sleek, amber-hued coats, adorned with distinctive black rosettes, shimmer against the golden grasslands under the rising sun. They hunt as a unit, rarely straying far from one another, maintaining constant communication through resonant roars and affectionate grooming. Yet, for the past 3 days, the savanna has turned arid with no sign of prey. Hunger drives them to wander, noses low to the ground, weaving through thorny shrubs and wading cautiously through shallow, muddy streams. As the midday sun blazed relentlessly, the pride sought refuge beneath a cluster of low acacia trees, their empty stomachs rumbling. By the afternoon of the 3rd day, the lead cheetah, with piercing amber eyes, guided the group toward the western boundary where the savanna met farmland. From a distance, the scent of goats, cattle, and scattered feed near a wire fence wafted toward them. Instinct pulled them closer despite the looming danger of human territory. The cheetahs moved stealthily in a tight formation, their ears twitching and eyes locked on the farmland ahead. In the distance, wooden sheds, faint smoke, and patches of tall grass signaled livestock activity. With no prey in the reserve, they ventured nearer to the human-controlled land. Halting just meters from a steel fence, they crouched behind dry grass, scanning for movement. The cheetah in the center caught the faint scent of dried blood and edged closer to the fence. Hidden beneath tangled grass lay a concealed iron trap. As the cheetah's paw brushed it, a sharp crack echoed, and steel jaws clamped onto its leg. A piercing screech tore through the air as the cheetah thrashed, kicking up dust and debris. The other 4 cheetahs froze, then bolted back, roaring loudly, their bodies low and tails raised in alarm. The trapped cheetah struggled fiercely, blood seeping from the wound as the trap's barbs dug deeper. The pride grew frantic, circling their injured companion, growling to ward off danger and offer support. The wounded cheetah's cries reverberated across the quiet fields, haunting and desperate. Unfamiliar with the trap's cold metal, the pride only knew their friend was in pain. As the cheetah's struggles weakened, its roars faded, and its head slumped in exhaustion. The remaining 4 stood vigil, alert to every sound, their eyes scanning the horizon. As sunset painted the savanna in hues of orange, the pride remained tense, caught between survival and the peril of human proximity. A figure emerged from the farm's edge. Mr. Joseph Kweka, an elderly farmer with weathered hands, had been patrolling near the boundary when he heard the cheetah's cries. Rifle in hand, he cautiously approached, spotting the pride and the trapped cheetah. Though accustomed to wildlife encounters, he had never seen cheetahs in such distress. Maintaining a safe distance, he pulled out his phone and called the local ranger station. "Samuel, there's a cheetah caught in a trap near my fence. Come quickly, I'll stay here," he said urgently. The ranger station confirmed and dispatched a team. A pickup truck roared from the park's eastern gate, carrying Rangers Samuel Nyoroge and Elijah Mwangi. Elijah, the senior ranger with years of experience, took charge, while Samuel carried a tranquilizer gun and medical kit. The truck sped through the plains, dust trailing behind as its horn echoed faintly. Mr. Kweka stood firm, watching the cheetahs with a mix of fear and pity. After about 25 minutes, the rangers arrived, parking 60 meters from the pride to assess the situation. Samuel stepped out first, tranquilizer gun at the ready, his eyes fixed on the panting, trapped cheetah. Elijah followed, holding a flashlight in one hand and a staff to deter other animals. The 4 cheetahs growled at the humans but kept their distance, wary yet non-aggressive. Samuel signaled Elijah to stay back as he approached the injured cheetah. A tranquilizer dart struck its flank, causing a slight flinch before the animal slumped into unconsciousness. Samuel carefully examined the trapped leg. The rusty steel trap's sharp teeth had bitten deep into the cheetah's flesh, staining its fur with blood. Its breathing was labored, its head tilted limply. Using heavy pliers, Samuel pried open the trap's bolts while Elijah stood guard. The wound was severe but showed no broken bones. Samuel cleaned it, administered painkillers, and worked swiftly to free the leg. After roughly 10 minutes, the trap was removed and set aside. He disinfected the wound and attached a small tracking chip for future monitoring. Elijah signaled to retreat, and both rangers backed toward the truck to avoid provoking the pride. The sedated cheetah lay on its side, surrounded by its companions who had grown calmer. As the sun dipped below the trees, the rangers stayed in the truck, observing through binoculars. The tranquilized cheetah stirred, its tail flicked, and its ears twitched at faint sounds. The other cheetahs drew closer, nuzzling and licking its head and shoulders in reassurance. Samuel radioed the station, reporting a stable situation and confirming no further medical aid was needed. Elijah logged the tranquilizer details and incident notes for the report. The injured cheetah slowly opened its eyes, lifted its head, and struggled to stand, limping but supported by a companion. The pride kept a wary eye on the humans. Samuel suggested guiding the cheetahs back to the reserve by moving the truck slowly. With a low warning hum, the vehicle inched forward, herding the pride away from the farm. The cheetahs moved deliberately, the injured one limping but keeping pace until they melted into the dense savanna. The truck halted once the pride crossed into the reserve's safety. Samuel and Elijah exchanged a nod, satisfied with the outcome. Their careful intervention had preserved the balance between wildlife and human presence. Returning to the farm, they found Mr. Kweka waiting anxiously. Samuel shook his hand, reporting that the cheetah was conscious and back in the wild. Elijah examined the trap, warning about its dangers near the reserve's edge. They advised Mr. Kweka to replace traps with safer fencing and to contact rangers if wildlife approached. He agreed, pledging closer cooperation with the station to protect both his livelihood and the animals. As dusk settled over the savanna, tire tracks and cheetah prints marked the damp earth. The pride was back in their domain, wild, free, yet ever reliant on human compassion for their survival. This small act of kindness had rewritten their story, proving that timely action can tip the scales toward life. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to follow this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support us. Her name is Emma Larson, the spirit guardian at the Kruger National Park in South Africa. Emma lives alone in a small wooden cabin next to a reserve in the heart of the wild. Though the work of a ranger is demanding, it allows Emma to form a deep bond with every living creature. Here in the wooden cabin, she cooked, tended the garden, and recorded her daily observations. She is not only a ranger, but also a mother to the animals she has rescued. One tranquil morning, Emma woke early, as usual, to prepare for the day ahead. In her small kitchen, she was preparing a breakfast of eggs and toast when a faint, unusual sound came from near the door, a soft, plaintive meow, like that of a weakened kitten. Emma turned, her heart racing, and saw a mother leopard standing on the porch. The mother leopard held an unconscious cub in her jaws, her eyes pleading as she gazed at Emma. She cautiously approached the door, the mother leopard's intense gaze and heavy breathing stirring her. The leopard gently placed her cub on the ground and stepped back, her eyes imploring Emma for help. In that moment, maternal instinct and trust between human and wild converged. Emma knelt gently, her hands trembling, touching the still body of the cub. She checked its heartbeat, then listened to the faint, uneven breathing of the small creature. The mother leopard stayed close, neither fleeing nor threatening, watching Emma's every move. Without hesitation, Emma lifted the cub, cradling it against her chest, and opened the door to enter the cabin. She spoke softly to the mother leopard, as if to assure her that she would do everything to save this fragile life. The mother leopard did not leave but followed a few steps, then sat in the doorway, watching intently. Emma placed the cub on the dining table, laying a clean towel beneath its delicate frame. She retrieved her first aid kit from a high shelf, searching for needles, medicine, and bandages. The kitchen grew silent, save for the mother leopard's heavy breathing outside. Emma glanced out the window, seeing the mother's eyes, filled with hope and worry, fixed on her. Emma disinfected a small wound on the cub's leg, then used a syringe to administer a precise dose of resuscitation medicine, keeping her hands steady to avoid causing pain. The cub showed little reaction, but its breathing became slightly more even. With a warm towel, Emma gently wiped the dried mud from the cub's spotted fur, then placed a damp cloth on its forehead to stabilize its temperature and prevent heat stroke. Her hands remained on the cub, closely monitoring every heartbeat and breath. The mother leopard stepped inside, standing a few paces from the table, silent but vigilant. Emma whispered, "Come on, little one, don't give up. Your mother is waiting." She mixed a tonic and dripped a few drops into the cub's mouth to aid its recovery. Nearly half an hour passed in the tense, quiet atmosphere, but Emma remained calm and steadfast. She prepared a bottle of condensed milk using a soft syringe to feed the cub small amounts. Then a faint sigh came from the cub, its ears twitching slightly. Emma smiled, knowing it was out of danger, a life saved just in time. The mother leopard drew closer, sniffing her cub and licking its head with tender care. In that small wooden kitchen, 3 lives shared a silent bond, like a family. After drinking more milk, the cub began to stir, making soft cries. Emma stroked its head, smiling as its bewildered eyes slowly opened. The mother leopard licked her cub's face, prompting it to cry out and nuzzle closer. Emma opened the back door, leading the mother and cub to the lush green garden. She spread a thin blanket on the grass for the cub to rest in the gentle morning sun. The cub took a few shaky steps, then collapsed onto the grass. Emma chuckled softly, kneeling to stroke its back as if it were a pet. The 3 spent the morning together under the pale yellow sunlight of the dry season. The cub grew bolder, trying to leap onto Emma's lap, scratching lightly and rubbing its face against her hand. That moment of peace, built on trust between nature and human, was the greatest reward for a ranger. The mother leopard paced the garden as if inspecting her surroundings before settling down to rest. Emma placed a bowl of milk beside the cub, which it lapped up quietly before falling asleep in its mother's embrace. She took a few photos, not for show, but as personal keepsakes. In the soft sunlight, the shadows of the 3 formed a living painting, a testament to the unity of nature and humanity, free of barriers or fear. That afternoon, Emma brought meat and fruit to the garden for the mother and cub. She sat beside them, stroking them gently as if bidding a tender farewell. The mother leopard ate slowly, her cub nestled against her legs. After the meal, the mother stood, locked eyes with Emma, then turned toward the distant forest. The cub followed, pausing to glance back at Emma one last time before darting after its mother. Emma watched their figures vanish into the wilderness under the pale sunlight, smiling softly. She knew nature must be free, and though it pained her to let go, she understood that love meant nurturing and releasing. Back in the kitchen, she cleared the table, her heart light after an emotional morning. Another memory was etched in her soul, a moment of being a mother in nature's place. A week later, Emma was patrolling along the reserve's main road at dawn. The pale sunlight filtered through the treetops, casting shadows on the dry ground. She raised her binoculars, watching a herd of antelope grazing across a stream. Suddenly, she stopped the jeep as a mother leopard stepped onto the road, her cub, now healthy and steady, following close behind. Emma recognized them instantly, their familiar fur and unwavering gaze. She turned off the engine, stepped out into the soft morning light, and called to them softly, though she had never named them. The mother leopard stood her ground, and the cub approached, rubbing its head against Emma's hand in a familiar gesture. The divide between human and wild melted away. Kneeling, Emma extended her hands, welcoming them like old friends. The mother leopard stepped closer, her wariness gone, allowing Emma to gently touch her neck. In that brief moment, 3 souls reconnected without words. Emma whispered, "Thank you for trusting me and returning." The cub sat at her feet, nuzzling her hand like a pampered kitten. A gentle breeze softened the air, as if nature itself were smiling. That day's patrol left no other notable traces, but it held something far more precious: a deep gratitude for the bond Emma shared with the wild. She returned to her cabin, recording the encounter in her notebook, adding it to the many beautiful memories of her life as a ranger. Nothing brought her greater joy than being trusted by the creatures of the wild. Each morning, she looked toward the forest's edge, hoping to see the mother and cub again. Though they never returned, their memory remained a sacred gift, a reminder of the harmony possible between human and nature. Dear friend, thank you for sharing in this story. Your support means everything. Please like and subscribe to join me in more Tales of the Wild.